Hey, baseball fan, time for a little self-care and a few minutes of cardboard meditation. Welcome to the show that features some of baseball's oddest stories and the cardboard slabs that document them. Find peace and joy through baseball cards with your host, the big guy.
So, I was taking care of some cards I just purchased this morning, and it sounds like a chore. You got to take care of them, but I love doing it. It's part of the fun. And I didn't need these cards, but I liked them. So I just picked them up in a lot, and I'm putting them away. But these were the cards that brought me back into the hobby. My good friend Bob, and if you've watched some of these, he gets a mention quite a few times because of his comments about going to card shows, and I thought he was out of his mind. But these cards, when I saw them, I went, okay, I got to collect these. They are the 2022 Topps Chrome Platinum Anniversary cards, and they're absolutely beautiful. Now, they had a mixture of star players, rookies, Hall of Famers, there's all sorts of other things included, autographs, parallels, rookies. Well, I already said rookies, but everybody likes rookies. We'll mention them twice. This set had something for everyone, kind of like Jaron Duran here. And then they had these beautiful, beautiful stars. That just made me think of the 54 Bowman, maybe the 53 color. That's another one that was very similar to these. And anybody that was wearing an Oakland A's uniform looked magnificent. And just so you know, I ain't lying. I don't know what it is about the A's, but these uniforms with this format and that sparkly chrome background. And of course, I have to include a tiger because, well, it's a tiger. Now, these are all patterned after the 53 Topps cards. And I don't have a lot of those. They're very expensive to get them in good shape and to get them graded. They're individually, they're very expensive. I've got a few, and they're really nice cards. I enjoy them, but they're just too pricey for me to collect as part of my set building. So when they come across my, eBay or wherever I can afford them, I'll pick them up. Most of them are in these kind of shape right here, this kind of shape. I've got some dog ears here. But they're beautiful. And when I started collecting early on, I was like, why am I attracted to these? Well, it's because they aren't photographs. They're actually paintings. One of the major differences in the 2022 Topps Anniversary cards and the regular 53s were that the anniversary cards were actually created by AI. They have the computer there. They type things in. They made that happen, and they made these beautiful, beautiful portraits. Well, the computer made them, but it's really quite special. The 53s were actually painted by hand by artists. And that, to me, makes them a masterpiece. Now, I always wondered, how did they do that? That's 274 cards. And they did it in 52, so there's 274 cards. And they had to paint those in the course of a year to get them to the set for the next year. Now, it seemed like the same artist might have painted all of them, but that's not the case, because if you look at them, the styles are all similar. There's nothing you can take it apart and go, oh, that guy did this one. I can't anyway. Maybe you can. But they actually had more than one person doing it all. And even with 3, which is what they had, 274 portraits in the course of a year, and they look like that. That is prolific work. So back in the 90s, if you ever had the Sports Collector's Digest, and I'm so sorry if you didn't have it, because that was the best information you could get before the internet. And the February article, February 21st, 1998, had an entire article about the 53 Topps cards. And Tom Mortensen interviewed, and he was one of the writers for the SCD, he interviewed Jerry Dvorak. And Dvorak was commissioned to produce the watercolor player portraits in 1952, the year before they were due in the packs at the pharmacies and grocery stores. So he said that he thought there were two other artists, like I'd said, and but he wasn't sure. And, I wondered if, obviously he wasn't sure, he may not have ever met them, but did they know each other, the other two? Or were they just all working independently? Because, again, the offering is just, it's seamless. They're absolutely beautiful cards. So when he was contracted to paint the portraits, Dvorak was working for Paramount Pictures, and that's a full-time job. So he took the job of painting the portraits, but he had to do them at night, weekends, holidays, and that's what he did. That's how he got his paintings done. He thinks that he painted about 90 portraits, and that's about a third of that set, so that makes sense. He was paid $25 a portrait. That does not seem like a lot, does it? So Topps supplied the artist with an 8x10 black and white photo, and that's what they had to work off of. And so the paintings they made were actually 3x5. They wanted to keep them small, Topps did, so the drying process was fast, and they probably used watercolor because that takes less time to dry than oil did. But Dvorak said that he could paint about 3 paintings in a weekend. Topps just wanted the heads and shoulders. That's what they wanted, the portrait, not a lot of action pictures, no bats, no gloves. They would supply the information on the uniform colors so they could go back and paint that in, the artists. And Dvorak wasn't a baseball fan. He didn't know much about baseball. He didn't even know many of the players. And if you're wondering, did he paint the Mickey Mantle? Yep, he did. He did, and it's a funny thing. He couldn't remember all the players that he did. And he wasn't sure about Mantle because, remember, it's 1953. He wasn't quite the baseball legend that he later became. And so he went to the Topps archive auction in 1989 just to take a look at it. And he goes, yeah, that's my work. So he was very happy and surprised that he actually did the Mantle. Here's Dvorak with Mickey. Yep, he did the 52 also. 52 Bowman. He also painted Jackie Robinson, Pee Wee Reese, Enos Slaughter, Red Schoendienst, Eddie Matthews, Yogi Berra, Phil Rizzuto, Bob Feller, Early Wynn, Johnny Mize, Ralph Kiner, Monty Irvin, Satchel Paige. Well, he did quite a few more. We're going to take a look at all of them there in just a couple of seconds. But first, I wanted to tell you that Dvorak met with some of the players that he had painted, and the funny comment that he got from Bob Feller was, "Oh, he goes, you're the artist that gave me those big teeth," and Dvorak said that was my favorite painting. His teeth aren't any bigger than anybody else's, so that was just kind of funny. But another job that Dvorak had, I'm not even going to call him job. It's like a fantasy position for me anyway. He was an animator. He was an animator for Popeye, Batman, Aladdin, as you see here. And this character in the middle is from the Freakies cereal. He was one of the characters for Freakies, so he handled that. And I'm kind of a big collector of the Freakies cereal brand. I thought they were cool, and that's easily one of the, I'm trying to think of that guy's name, one of the more popular ones, and it's slipping my mind now. But he did a lot more too. Superman, Casper, the Jetsons. So he had a very, very, very huge career as an artist. And these cards are just probably something small, but you turn it around, they are probably the biggest thing that I would ever say that he did, that I enjoy the most. And here are most of the other cards that he painted. Now, look at this George Kell. Just look at the background. It is a beautiful sunny day in Fenway. Now, this Bobby Morgan has a red background. I wondered if maybe Dvorak just didn't have time to finish that out, so he just put a plain background in there of red. Now, this Clem Labine, every time I've seen this, I kind of go right past his face and look at the background. Does that say Tops behind his head? Did Dvorak toss us a little Easter egg in that card? Now, this is Dick Brodowski. This is a cool card, I think. It depicts a night game. I think that was probably still a novel thing back in '53. Eddie Lopat looks like maybe he was in his backyard, maybe doing some gardening, and Dvorak just painted him in his backyard. It's kind of funny on this Jim Hearn card. It says no betting in the background. How things have changed. Here's another one of those red background cards with Willard Nixon. Did that make you happy, taking a look at all those beautiful cards from 1953? It made me happy. It made me happy that you were here, too. You know, don't wait for me to bring you happiness. You need to go out and find it. It's out there. Go find happiness and bring it home. And add baseball cards if you'd like to add some spice to it. Talk soon.
Cardboard Meditation helps set your mind right. Thank you for watching. Show us your appreciation by clicking the like and subscribe button. Ring the bell while you're at it so you'll know when we upload a new story.